Namaskar, Suraj Singh, Civil Engineer, Faridabad, Bharat. I am available here again to serve you about some information to share with you. These information are gathered from various sources. सबको नमस्कार मेरा आपके सामने मैं उपस्थित हूँ आपकी सेवा में बात करने के लिए आपसे इंफॉर्मेशन देने के लिए कुछ बताने के लिए कुछ समझने के लिए कुछ समझाने के लिए भारत का संविधान हम सब के लिए एक ऐसा डॉक्यूमेंट जिसके बिना हम नहीं चल सकते देश नहीं चल सकता वी कैन नॉट मूव कंट्री कैन नॉट मूव दिस इज द डॉक्यूमेंट इट्स हार्ट माइंड बॉडी एंड every instrument of this country that moves our bodies, our country, our land, our people in each and every respect. Without this, nothing is possible. Had it not been there, I don't think what would have been to this country, how would we get here. And there is no way that this document can be condemned by someone. If someone thinks it can be condemned, that person loses its sound mind. That can be called mindless person, visionless person, anything you can call that. After all, documents, legal document, constitutional document, and about constitutional power that is public. This was devised, designed, elected, approved, and adopted by all people of this country, Bharat, without any reservations, and this is a permanent document for each and every citizen of our country. No reservation, no consideration, no plus minus, no factorization, but factorizations. We have to be careful while we talk about this document. This is not for judiciary alone. This is not for executive alone. This is not for legislature alone. This is for each and every citizen of ours. Ours means Bharat. We have to be very proud of this document. We should have a highest degree of pride that we are being governed, we are being ruled, we are being, let's say, controlled by this document, not less than holy status. This document keeps us moving. This document generates us, and this document does each and every act of life that we have been encountering and been moving and welcoming in Bharat. When someone is born, this document starts application on that document, and when someone dies, this document extinguishes that person's rights on this country. So I salute Bharat ka Savidhaan. I salute the Constitution of India with this. This is the same thing as national honor of each and every person in this country. It has been a little time, but I have been discussing about this constitution, about Bharat ka Savidhan, just to disseminate information, whatever I could have in a little knowledge of education to share with each and every person because I have seen the observation, the experience, and that youth and adults and seniors and all others lack interest in having knowledge of this document, though more than 50 to 60% people in this country are well educated, you can say about graduate or postgraduate level, while others, you can say about 20-30% people are just secondary class or high school, yet they do not have any kind of knowledge. You may say they are ignorant of this document. They have knowledge about all other documents, all other books, subjects that are educational subjects, academic subjects, and all cultural and life subjects. They have knowledge of each and every issue, but they do not have any kind of knowledge, information, or you can say a degree of understanding about Constitution of Bharat, Bharat ka Savidhan, which is very significant document, but people don't understand. It doesn't matter if you don't understand, because it's not too late. This is the time you understand this. Because till now we were politically very stable in our governance, but now, though there may be majority of many some person, some party, majority doesn't mean stability. According to my understanding and according to general understanding and experience in past, having majority in some house of Lok Sabha does not mean that government is stable. So we have to consider this very gravely and with highest degree of seriousness that First of all, we have to understand what government is, what people are, and what our other bodies are. There's no question of majority or minority at all as far as government is concerned, as far as public are concerned. We constitute one body, and that is called Lok Sabha by our own direct votes. And only citizens in this country, all citizens in this country, have absolute suffrage right or right of suffrage and right of franchise to cast your vote, elect a representative MP, your your legal representative, your constitutional representative, to speak on your behalf in House of People, that is Lok Sabha, and that person is representative of whole people, whole constituency, and constituency is a principal like person for that Lok Sabha MP. This point we have to understand very well. If you cannot understand this point and other points in your similar way related to the assembly of every state or all junior representatives like councillors and panchayat institutions, we shall not be able to understand this constitution and what we expect from our Lok Sabha and assemblies for our future and for current state of political goodwill. Politics, first of all, is a cursing word nowadays. If you call someone politicians, it's as if you are speaking, using abuse of language against this person, and nobody wants to be called politicians, as politician itself is a corrupted name, just like in our spiritualism, Babas are corrupted name. Babas go very, very honorable title like God or equivalent to God, just to get blessings from that person. But those persons are no more than criminals and professionals. Similarly, our system of the constitution has endowed every citizen, empowered every citizen to elect member of parliaments or member of assemblies or member of municipalities or member of panchayats. But we people don't realize this, right? And we just take it for granted. Oh, every 5 years, and we have to vote this party, that party, or this man or that man, and we extinguish all other debates and brainstorming requirements at this point by just cancelling that way I voted my duty over. Voting doesn't make your duty over, but voting starts your duty because this is your country. This is not MP's country. MP's country is as a citizen, not as MP. MP is a representative, member of parliament, means a member of parliament is a representative of the country. It is you and you, citizen of this country, who elect member of parliament, and by that election of member of parliament, Lok Sabha is a house of people, a house of representative, which is lower house of parliament is constituted. That is the point that you have to understand. You cannot elect Prime Minister of Bharat or Constitution of Bharat or India because you have no right per Constitution of India. Nowhere it is mandated in any article on Constitution of India that you have right to elect Prime Minister of India or Government of India or Ministers of India, whatever you call it. You have got exclusive right to elect your lawmaker or legislator and forward member of parliament status Lok Sabha. You have to understand this point. You have to understand that you have to elect your assembly MLA for that, for whatever state you are living in. And similarly, other junior level elections are done and you have to elect accordingly. Take out from your mind, drain out from your mind that you elect member of, you elect a prime minister just like prime minister falsely speaks in public meeting that you have to vote for him because you cannot vote for him. His name is not written in list of candidates in each and every constituency. This is very good point to understand. And until we understand this point, we cannot clean you can say clear septic or sludge from this political septic tank in Bharat. Because these people have spoiled all whatever is written in the constitution, that is not taught to people like that, but it's taught in a different way. If some candidate like Prime Minister stands, say, please vote for me because I shall do this for you and that for you. But Prime Minister doesn't tell that he cannot be voted by voters. He shall be voted by all MPs in Lok Sabha, not his party MPs only, because a person who can get confidence of Lok Sabha is designated as Prime Minister of this country. That is practice, that is law, according to whatever provisions have been made in articles of Constitution of Bharat. Why I'm just describing this with you, if you go as why he's telling this every time, he's not telling every time. It's just to remind you, understand, and understand because you are an ignorant person. You don't take it seriously whatever you have to do, because if you don't take seriously, you lose something. If you don't study very well and seriously, you cannot appear in an examination. If you appear in an examination without seriousness, you will be declared failed. And if you go with full preparation, you will get good marks or good results. That is that is what happens by studying. So this is a study also, that you have to understand constitution, then you have to understand relevant laws, relevant statutes, and then accordingly you have to understand what judiciary is and what your executive is, however public is, what NGOs are, then all you have to know about this. I'm just explaining to you again. I'm telling you, not no, it's not part of what I'm talking about later. No, it's not that. I'm just trying to tell. I'm just trying to request you people to just make your knowledge higher, and don't be misled by these politicians from whatever party. They just speak lies because they themselves never got an understanding of constitution. Even the prime minister, president, they undertake oath of administration under this constitution, but they don't open their constitution, they don't read their constitution, they don't realize that, because there are advisors who shall advise whenever advice is required. Otherwise, there is no meaning to read this constitution. If those level people cannot do, they expect, how can a common man level do it? A common man level shall not do it until forced to do it. Or you go to some lawyer and ask some other person who is expert and shall ask. It doesn't matter. It doesn't require. It's a book you can read yourself. It's nothing. There is no mathematics in this. There is no science in that. There's nothing at all. Simple English or Hindi. You can read that and understand. You can check yourself what intention that the article gives, and what court shall understand. That way, it's that much funny. Nothing more. You know your mother tongue. You know English. You know everything. You can understand very well. And that's what is required. Nothing else is required. So people like who are very uneducated, like engineers, doctors, and professors, etc., they can very well understand, but they keep mum because they are not bound for this purpose. If he does something, Papaji comes and tells what you are doing. So no, don't do, you're wasting time. That's what I'm saying. So I had been discussing with you all this because I want you to know this. I have been explaining to you by narrating, by speaking, by reading Constitution of India in English and Hindi, so each article wise, just to let you apprise what contents are there. You can read yourself, I know, but you shall not read it because you are too busy. Like every minister is busy. You are too busy. Like every businessman is busy. You are too busy person because you got your time to spare for such important significant work. But even then, there is unemployment because you are all busy. You want to do something, but there's unemployment because you are not doing anything. So it's not just talking or he's talking. It's something that you have to understand. If you just take half an hour daily or 1 or 2 hours weekly, you can go through various provisions in this constitution, there are clauses in the constitution, and whatever applies to you, you can go through that. But your rights are suppressed, your rights are closed, you can raise claims, but it's not happening that way, unfortunately. मेरा कहने का मतलब है कि मैं रोज आपके पास जो आता हूँ, ये बातें करता हूँ, भारत के संविधान को आपको पता होना चाहिए। खेल नहीं है, मजाक नहीं है, ये मैं आपसे करता हूँ। एक बहुत आवश्यक बात है कि भारत का संविधान, भारत नागरिक होने के नाते आपका फर्ज बनता है, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि भारत का संविधान क्या कहता है, क्यों कहता है, क्या है इसके अंदर। ये खेल नहीं है बच्चों, हम कुछ भी ले लें, हंस ले, अरे संविधान है, क्या करें, जरूरत होगी पढ़ लें। बहुतों को मैंने देखा है, मैंने काफी तक कुछ हो गई अपने रिश्तेदारों को भी इसको पढ़िए आप, अच्छे बच्चे वो अच्छी एजुकेशन, सॉरी अच्छे बच्चे हैं, अच्छी पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं, नॉलेज सब कुछ, इंग्लिश जानते हैं, सब कुछ जानते हैं, बात कर सकते हैं, लिख सकते हैं, करेंगे, लेकिन वो पढ़ेंगे नहीं, मुझे इंटरेस्ट नहीं था, कहते जरूरत पड़ेगी तब पढ़ लेंगे। अब जब जरूरत पड़ेगी कब पढ़ें, जरूरत कभी पढ़ने नहीं, आप पढ़ेंगे नहीं, इसका मतलब होता है कि आप इंटरेस्ट नहीं, आपको सिर्फ वो चाहिए, आपको पैसे मिलते हो, तो जॉब का काम चाहिए, जो पढ़ना चाहिए, आपको डिग्री मिलती हो, आप सिर्फ उस काम में रहना चाहते हैं जिसका आपको रिजल्ट सामने आना चाहिए। आप उस काम की वैल्यू नहीं देते हैं कि आपको होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए, आपकी फर्ज है कि नहीं है, इसको पढ़ना या नहीं पढ़ना, इसको पढ़ने से आपको क्या मिलने वाला है, नहीं मिलने वाला है, आप इस चीज़ को जाने बिना उसको नहीं पढ़ते, क्योंकि आपको नॉलेज बढ़ाने का मतलब नहीं है आपको पैसा कमाना है, जॉब मिल जाना चाहिए, बस ये आपकी इच्छा है। हो सकता आपने स्ट्रगल किया होता आज़ादी के समय, हम मानते हैं, लेकिन आपने नहीं किया, आप पैदा भी नहीं हुए थे। अच्छा होता कि आपने लाइफ में वैसे ही स्ट्रगल किया था देश के लिए, वो भी आपने नहीं किया, क्योंकि सब पका पकाया चाहिए आपको। देश चल रहा है, देश घाटे में जाए फायदे में जाए, हमें क्या मतलब है। देश की सरकार पैसा उड़ाए, क्या करे, आग लगाए, हमें क्या मतलब है। हमारे मकान के, हमारी लाइन के अंदर मकानों के साथ आगे 3-4 बिल्डिंग में आग लगे, हमें क्या मतलब है। जब तक हमारी बिल्डिंग में आग न लगेगी, हम क्या माने क्या होता है। सोच गंदी है, इरादे गंदे हैं, ऊंची बड़ी बड़ी हमारे डेस्टिनेशन से मंजिलें बहुत ऊंची हैं, रास्ते हम चलना नहीं चाहते, हवाई जहाज से उड़ के जाना चाहते हैं। प्रॉब्लम हमारी यही है कि हम कुछ करना नहीं चाहते। हमें बता दीजिए, जरूरत पड़ने पर हम आपको एक्सपर्ट मान लेंगे, नहीं हमें एक्सपर्ट नहीं बनना है, ना हमें बताना है वक्त में आने पे। आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा देश को आगे चलाना है तो। जिस तरह आप डिग्री लेने के लिए, डिप्लोमा लेने के लिए साल भर कई कई साल पढ़ाई करते हैं और डिप्लोमा लेते हैं, आपकी मजबूरी समझ के आप लेते हैं कि आपने वो एजुकेशन नहीं प्राप्त की या कुछ नहीं किया तो आपको ना नौकरी मिलेगी, ना काम मिलेगा, ना कुछ कर पाएंगे। तो आपको मजबूरी समझ के, कोई आपका मंजिल वहाँ नौकरी है, पैसे कमाना है, इसलिए आप वो करते हैं। यहाँ पर आपको पैसे नहीं मिलने वाले, मंजिल नहीं मिलने वाली, लेकिन आप नहीं करेंगे क्योंकि आप कहते हैं हमें कह लेना, हमने तो एमपी बिठा रखे, अपने आप देखेंगे, हमने वो बिठा रखे, अपने आप लिखेंगे। क्वेश्चन ये नहीं है कि आपने एमपी बिठा रखे कि नहीं बिठा रखे, क्वेश्चन है कि आपको नॉलेज होनी चाहिए उस चीज़ की, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है। मैं नहीं कहता कि आप खेलिए मत, खेल की भी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए। मैं नहीं कहता कि आप फिल्म मत देखिए, आप फिल्म भी देखिए, कुछ भी कीजिए आपके लाइफ के लिए, जो करना चाहते हैं करिए, कौन रोक रहा है आपको। लेकिन जो बहुत जरूरी है, अगर आपके पास देश है, आपकी स्वतंत्रता है, आज जो संविधान है वो है, जब ये नहीं होगा तब आप क्या करेंगे। सोचिए, अगर आज ये आपका संविधान छीन जाए आपसे पास से, ये फंडामेंटल राइट्स आपके छीन जाए, सब राइट्स छीन जाए, सबको उठा के फेंक दिया जाए कि संविधान हम हटा देते हैं और अब देश को चलने दीजिए, तो आप क्या करेंगे। क्या आप उसी रास्ते में जा सकेंगे जिस पर आप जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि आपके अधिकार है उसमें सिपाही नहीं रहे, आपकी पावर सिपाही नहीं रही, आपके देश के आपको पता नहीं, पूरा क्या भी कर सकते पता नहीं, तो जो डंडा मारेगा आप डंडे खाते जाएंगे और कुछ नहीं करेंगे आप। This is a problem really with Indian people, youth people, and although they are just interested in job, they study because they are studying seriously just to get degrees purpose of job. They are not interested in countries' freedom, countries' issues, and all that. Because they have not seen from struggle, they never saw those struggles. Had they seen those struggles, they would have been better citizens, a different citizen. But this time now they are young, I talk and ask many people, they say no, we are not interested in the question here, you are interested, not interested, because you are not making money, you are not earning money. If you are talking about constitution, if you are going to study in constitution, you should not get any money, that's your intention is, that's your thought process is. But money is not criteria here. It belongs to you, your country, and you are honor of this country. Means once you are honor, you have to take care of your country. In each and every direction, you are not taking that interest because you ignore this. Ultimately, your interest is just to make money for industry, for living good life, this and that, and that's what you want. Nothing else. But that does not solve the problem. You have to come out and support yourself for supporting your countries, and for that you will support your law, support your constitution, support your. You must elect all those people who are very good for you, very good for country. You should not elect by blind mind, by blind brain. Oh, I elect this because this man wants to elect me. It's honest man. How can this honest man is alone one qualification? Honest man is not one qualification. It's many. One of many qualifications. There should be dedication. There should be commitment. There should be determination. There should be, you can say, knowledge. There should be knowledge of whatever expertise. And this is what's a part of definition of our country is. Definition of democracy is. So democracy we have to understand, just not voting, etc. Voting is one part of it. Voting is that different procedure. But question is, what about our rights, our fundamental rights and all those? We have to grasp this, we have to understand this. I'm not talking long because I have seen people not interested. Once you start reading this, all politicians, once you start reading and understand constitution of this country, India-Bharat, once you start understanding this, and when you think of what it is, and when you start raising questions in a couple of months, they will understand what you are. You may not be having degree or diploma, but you are having this knowledge, and you can you can speak good English, you can converse with people, communicate with people, you will have benefit of all that. At that time, all political figures start thinking the guys are in constitution, therefore you have to be careful. They shall also be constitution. But now what's happening? Neither voter is interested, no voter, no these people are interested in vote because there is no life, there is no understanding, there is no mental development here in our country. We think of this fine. We are right to Prime Minister will take care of. Why should Prime Minister take care of you? You are not taking care. Just think of. Prime Minister is a person in this case is a God. 1% of 135, 130 crore people. He's just a leader. A leader directed by you. Here to direct him. Here to tell him do this or don't do this. This is your money ultimately. He doesn't bring money from his office in his home. This is your money. Just maybe stuck in this country or start originated in this country, and you think you're going there. That's what I'm saying. So for that you must have a small knowledge of constitution of this country, and especially the youth, girls and boys are very upset with all those because they are interested in all kinds of social affairs, they're interested in mobiles, they're interested in chatting, they're interested in watching videos, they're interested in wearing good clothes and shameless clothes. They are very skilled talking to each other. They maybe they are getting good marks in examination, but it doesn't matter because until you have marked the country, you have independent on country, you have good constitution of this country, you have good rules of this country, you cannot move further because this is support and direct support to you. If your education is not good, if your common sense is not good, if you don't have development of a mind or right, you can find out mistakes and you cannot lead yourself. You have to lead yourself as a productive person, and you have to lead your family and your state and then the country. That's what is required in this. No politics, no politician, no politics is best way nowadays. Politics means that, politics means abusing each other, politics means nothing, politics for its laws. We have to be careful about this. So I was reading yesterday I'll come to explain again, but now I was going to talk about, can say, various provisions now. Provisions are they shall be Vice President of India, Article 63. They shall be Vice President of India. 64. The Vice President shall be ex officio Chairman of Council of the States and shall not hold any office or profit, provided that during any period when Vice President acts as President or discharges functions of President under Article 65, he shall not perform duties of office of Chairman of Council of the States and shall not be entitled to any salary or allowances payable to Chairman of the Council of States under Article 97. 65. We'll re-explain the reason altogether. 65.1. In the event of occurrence of any vacancy in office of President by reason of death, resignation, or removal, otherwise, Vice President shall act as President until date on which the new President elected in accordance with provisions of this chapter to fill such vacancy enter upon his office. 2. When the President is unable to discharge his functions owing to absence, illness, or any other cause, Vice President shall discharge his function until dates on which President resumes his duties. Vice Presidential duty and in respect of while acting as discharging functions of President have all powers and immunities, or President may be entitled to such emoluments, allowances, and privileges as may be determined by Parliament by law and until provision in their behalf is so made. Such emoluments, allowances, and privileges as are specified in second schedule. 66.1. Vice President shall be elected by the members of electoral college consisting of members of both houses of Parliament in accordance with a system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote and voting. All such elections shall be by serial ballot. 2. Vice President shall not be member of either House of Parliament or a House of Legislature or State, and if member of either the House of House of Parliament, and if a member of either House of Parliament or House of Legislature of any state to be elected Vice President shall be deemed to have vacated his seat in that House on date on which he enters upon his office as Vice President. No person shall be eligible for election as Vice President unless a citizen of this country, Bharat, has completed the age of 35 years and is qualified for election as a member of Council of States. A person shall not be eligible for election as Vice President if he holds any office of profit under Government of India or the Government of any state or under any local or other authority subject to control of many of institutes. Now, a person shall not be eligible for election as Vice President if he holds an office of profit under the Government of India or Government of any state or under any local or other authority subject to control of any of said governments. Explanation. For purposes of this article, a person shall not be deemed to hold the office of profit by reason only that he is the President or Vice President of the Union government, governor, or of any state, or is a minister of a House of Union or a state. 67. Vice President shall hold office for a term of 5 years, and date on which he enters upon office, provided a, a vice president may by writing under his hand address to President resign. Okay, a vice president may by writing under his access to President resign his office. A vice president may be removed from his office by a resolution of Council of States passed by a majority of all their press. All A vice president may be removed from his office by resolution of control of states passed by a majority of all 10 members of council and agreed to by houses of people. But no resolution for purpose of these clauses shall be moved unless of heated 14 days, at least 14 days notice has been given of intention to move the last resolution. The vice president shall notwithstanding expiration of his term continue to hold office until his successor enters upon his office. 68. An election to fill a vacancy caused by expiration of terms of office of vice president shall be completed before expiration of term. An election to fill a vacancy in office or vice president occurring by reason of death, resignation, or removal at all otherwise shall be held as soon as possible after occurrence of vacancy, and person elected to fill the vacancy shall, subject to provisions of Article 67, be entitled to hold effect office for full term or 5 years from the date on which considers upon his office. Article 69. Every vice president shall, before entering office, also okay. Every vice president shall, before entering office, make and subscribe before president or some person appointed in their behalf by him an, an oath or office information in the declaring servants. Hmm. Every vice president shall, before entering office, his office make a subscribe before president or some person appointed in their behalf by him on oath information of his following form, that is to say, I, A, B, do swear in the name of God, solemnly affirm that I will work, I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to Constitution of India as by law established, and that I will faithfully discharge duty upon which I am powered to. Okay. 70. Once again, once again I read this, that I will be a true faith in allegiance to Constitution of India is by law established, and that I will faithfully discharge duty upon which I am about to enter. 70. Parliament may make such laws, such provisions as it thinks fit for discharge of functions of President in any contingency not provided for this chapter. 71. All doubts and disputes arising out of or in connection with election of a president or vice president shall be inquired into, decided by all debates. 71. Similarly, Parliament may think such provisions as it thinks fit for discharge of functions of President in any contingency not provided for in this chapter. 71. All doubts and disputes arising out of or in connection with the election of President and Vice President shall be inquired into and decided by Supreme Court, whosoever decision shall be final. 2. If an election of a person as president or vice president is declared void by Supreme Court, action by him in exercise and performance of our powers and duties of, of office of president or vice president, as case may be, on or before date of decision of Supreme Court shall not be invalidated by reason of this of that declaration. 3. Subject to provisions of this Constitution, Parliament may by law regulate any matter related to or commented upon with this occasion. Okay. Subject to provisions of this Constitution, Parliament by law regulate any matter relating to or connected with selection of president or vice president, election of a person as a president or vice president shall not be called in and called in question on ground of the existence of any vacancy for whatever reason. I mean, okay. Election of president, vice president shall not be called in question on ground of existence nor vacancy for whatever reason among members of electoral college, electoral claiming him. 72. President shall have power to grant pentagons, reprise, respite for permission, for remittance or punishment. Or okay, again same thing. Sorry. President shall have powers to grant pardons, reprise, respites, or remission of punishment, or to suspend, remit, or commute sentence of any person convicted of any offense. In all cases where punishment or sentence is by a court martial, in all cases where punishment or sentence is for an offense against law relating to a market, in all cases where punishment of sentence is by a court martial, in all cases where punishment or sentence is for appointment. In all cases where punishment or sentence is for an offense against any law relating to matter to which the okay. In all cases where sentence is a sentence of it's not. In all cases where sentence is a sentence of death. It's nothing in the subclause A of the clause shall affect power conferred by law on any officer of armed forces of Union for to suspend, remit, or commute sentence passed by court martial. Nothing in this subclause of clauses shall affect power or to suggested numbers. Nothing in a clause shall affect power to suspend, remit, or compute a sentence of death exercisable by governor of a state unless any law for time being used. Subject to 73, subject to so provisions of Constitution, executive power of Union shall extend. So we'll take first of all 73 in Hindi up to 73. Let's take in Hindi 73. So let's go back and read from 73 onward. You know 73 onwards. कहाँ जाते हैं यार? Okay, I'll go now. Now to speak in Hindi. This is about 66. No, not 66. 60, I think. 61. And this is 60. I will start from 60. Yes. 60. राष्ट्रपति द्वारा शपथ का प्रतिज्ञान. दो टाइम से रखते रहे यार इनबॉक्स का तो मिस कर. So fucking this mouse here. Some problem in one, sorry. Now, प्रत्येक राष्ट्रपति 60 है क्लॉज 60 नॉट क्लॉज आर्टिकल 60. प्रत्येक राष्ट्रपति और प्रत्येक व्यक्ति जो राष्ट्रपति के रूप में कार्य कर रहा है या उसके कृत्यों का निर्वहन कर रहा है अपना पद ग्रहण करने से पहले भारत के मुख्य न्यायमूर्ति और उसकी उपस्थिति में सर्वोच्चतम न्यायालय के उपलब्ध ज्येष्ठतम न्यायाधीश के समक्ष निम्नलिखित प्रारूप में शपथ लेगा या प्रतिज्ञान करेगा और उस पर अपने हस्ताक्षर करेगा. अर्थात मैं अमुक ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं अमुक ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूँ कि मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक सत्य निष्ठा से प्रतिज्ञान करता हूँ कि मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद का कार्यपालन अथवा राष्ट्रपति के कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन करूंगा तथा अपनी पूरी योग्यता से संविधान और विधि का संरक्षण सुनिए भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद का कार्यपालन अथवा राष्ट्रपति के कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन करूंगा तथा अपनी पूरी योग्यता से संविधान और विधि का परिरक्षण संरक्षण और प्रतिरक्षण करूंगा और मैं भारत की जनता की सेवा और कल्याण में निरत रहूंगा. 61 से 61. जब संविधान के अतिक्रमण के लिए राष्ट्रपति पर महाभियोग चलाना हो तो संसद का कोई सदन आरोप लगाएगा. ऐसा कोई आरोप तब तक नहीं लगाया जाएगा जब तक कि ऐसा आरोप लगाने की प्रस्तावना किसी ऐसे संकल्प की अंतर्गत स्थिति नहीं है जो कम से कम 14 दिन की ऐसी लिखित सूचना के दिए जाने के पश्चात प्रस्तावित किया गया है जिस पर उस सदन की कुल सदस्य संख्या के कम से कम 1/4 सदस्यों ने हस्ताक्षर करके उस संकल्प को प्रस्तावित करने का अपना आशय प्रकट किया है और उस सदन की कुल सदस्य संख्या के कम से कम 2/3 बहुमत द्वारा ऐसा संकल्प पारित नहीं किया गया है। तीसरा, जब आरोप संसद के किसी सदन द्वारा इस प्रकार लगाया गया है, तब दूसरा सदन उस आरोप का अन्वेषण करेगा या कराएगा और ऐसे अन्वेषण में उपस्थित होने का तथा अपना प्रतिनिधित्व कराने का राष्ट्रपति को अधिकार होगा। चौथा, यदि अन्वेषण के परिणाम स्वरूप यह घोषित करने वाला संकल्प कि राष्ट्रपति के विरुद्ध लगाया गया आरोप सिद्ध हो गया है, आरोप का अन्वेषण करने या कराने वाले सदन को कुल सदस्य संख्या के कम से कम 2/3 बहुमत द्वारा पारित कर दिया जाता है, तो ऐसे संकल्प का प्रभाव उसके इस प्रकार पारित किया जाने के तारीख से राष्ट्रपति को उसके पद से हटाना होगा। 62, राष्ट्रपति की पद अवधि की समाप्ति से हुए रिक्त को भरने के लिए निर्वाचन पदावधि की समर्पिता से पहले पूर्ण कर लिया जाएगा। 62, राष्ट्रपति की मृत्यु पर राष्ट्रपति की मृत्यु, पद त्याग या पद से हटाए जाने या अन्य कारण से हुई उसके पद में रिक्ति को भरने के लिए निर्वाचन रिक्ति होने की तारीख के पश्चात यथाशीघ्र और प्रत्येक दशा में 6 मास बीतने से पहले किया जाएगा और रिक्ति के भरने के लिए निर्वाचित व्यक्ति अनुच्छेद 56 के उपबंधों के अधीन रहते हुए अपनी पद ग्रहण की तारीख पर शपथ तारीख से 5 वर्ष की पूरी अवधि तक पद धारण करने का हकदार होगा। 63, भारत का एक उपराष्ट्रपति होगा। 64, उपराष्ट्रपति राज्यसभा का पदेन सभापति होगा और अन्य कोई लाभ का पद का धारण नहीं करेगा, परंतु जिस किसी अवधि के दौरान उपराष्ट्रपति अनुच्छेद 65 के अधीन राष्ट्रपति के रूप में कार्य करता है, राष्ट्रपति के कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन करता है, उस अवधि के दौरान वह राज्यसभा के सभापति के पद के कर्तव्य का पालन नहीं करेगा और वह अनुच्छेद 97 के अधीन राज्यसभा के सभापति को संघीय वेतन या भत्ते का हकदार नहीं होगा। 65 राष्ट्रपति की मृत्यु, पदत्याग पर पद से हटाए जाने या अन्य कारण से उसके पद में हुई रिक्ति की दशा में उपराष्ट्रपति उस तारीख तक राष्ट्रपति के रूप में कार्य करेगा जिस तारीख को ऐसी रिक्ति की भरने के लिए इस अध्याय के उपबंधों के अनुसार निर्वाचित राष्ट्रपति अपना पद ग्रहण करता है। दूसरा है, जब राष्ट्रपति अनुपस्थिति, बीमारी या अन्य किसी कारण से अपने कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन करने में असमर्थ है, तब उपराष्ट्रपति उस तारीख तक उसके कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन करेगा जिस तारीख को राष्ट्रपति अपने कर्तव्यों का फिर से संभालता है। तीसरा, उपराष्ट्रपति को उस अवधि के दौरान और उस अवधि के संबंध में जब वह राष्ट्रपति के रूप में इस प्रकार कार्य कर रहा है या उसके कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन कर रहा है, राष्ट्रपति की सभी शक्तियां और उन्मुक्तियां होंगी तथा वह ऐसी उपलब्धियों, भत्तों और विशेषाधिकारों का जो संसद विधि द्वारा अवधारित करें और जब तक इस निवृत्ति इस प्रकार बंद नहीं किया जाता है तब तक ऐसी उपलब्धियों, भत्तों और विशेषाधिकारों का जो दूसरी अनुसूची में विनिर्देशित है हकदार होगा। 66 उपराष्ट्रपति का निर्वाचन संसद के दोनों सदनों के सदस्यों से मिलकर बनाने वाले निर्वाचनकरण के सदस्यों द्वारा अनुपालित प्रतिनिधित्व पद्धति के अनुसार एकल संक्रमणीय मत द्वारा होगा और ऐसे निर्वाचन में मतदान गुप्त होगा। इसका दूसरा है, उपराष्ट्रपति संसद के किसी सदन का या किसी राज्य के विधानमंडल के किसी सदन का सदस्य नहीं होगा और यदि संसद के किसी सदन का है या किसी राज्य के विधानमंडल के किसी सदन का कोई सदस्य उपराष्ट्रपति निर्वाचित हो जाता है तो यह समझा जाएगा कि उस दिन के उस दिन से उस दिन में अपना स्थान उपराष्ट्रपति के रूप में अपने पद ग्रहण को तारीख से रिक्त कर दिया है। तीसरा है, कोई व्यक्ति उपराष्ट्रपति निर्वाचन होने का पात्र अभी होगा तब पात्र तभी होगा जब वह भारत का नागरिक है, 35 वर्ष की आयु पूरी कर चुका है और राज्यसभा का सदस्य निर्वाचित होने के लिए पारित है। कोई व्यक्ति जो भारत सरकार के या किसी राज्य को सरकार के अधीन अथवा उक्त सरकारों में से किसी के नियंत्रण में किसी स्थानीय या अन्य प्राधिकारियों को अधीन कोई लाभ का पद ग्रहण करता है, उपराष्ट्रपति निर्वाचन आयोग का पात्र होगा, उपराष्ट्रपति निर्वाचन आयोग का पात्र नहीं होगा। स्पष्टीकरण, इस अनुच्छेद के प्रयोजन के लिए कोई व्यक्ति केवल इस कारण कोई लाभ का पद धारण करने वाला नहीं समझा जाएगा कि वह संघ का राष्ट्रपति या उपराष्ट्रपति था, किंतु इस अनुच्छेद के प्रयोजनों के लिए कोई व्यक्ति केवल इस कारण कोई लाभ का पद धारण करने वाला नहीं समझाएगा कि वह संघ का राष्ट्रपति और उपराष्ट्रपति था, किसी राज्य का राज्यपाल है अथवा संघ का किसी राज्य का मंत्री है। उपराष्ट्रपति अपने पद ग्रहण की तारीख से 5 वर्ष की अवधि तक पद धारण करेगा, परंतु उपराष्ट्रपति राष्ट्रपति को संबोधित करके अपने हस्ताक्षर सहित लेख द्वारा अपना पद त्याग कर सकेगा। है इन मॉर्निंग टाइम इसका 5 o'clock 5 AM। ओके, उपराष्ट्रपति राष्ट्रपति को संबोधित करके हस्ताक्षर सहित लेख द्वारा अपना पद त्याग सकेगा। है, उपराष्ट्रपति राज्यसभा के ऐसे संकल्प द्वारा अपने पद से हटाया जा सकेगा जिसे राज्यसभा के तत्कालीन समस्त सदस्यों के बहुमत ने पारित किया है और जिससे लोकसभा सहमत है। किंतु इस खंड के प्रयोजन के लिए कोई संकल्प तब तक प्रस्तावित नहीं किया जाएगा जब तक कि उस संकल्प को प्रस्तावित करने के आशय से कम 14 दिन की सूचना न दे दी गई हो। उपराष्ट्रपति अपने पद की अवधि समाप्त हो जाने पर भी तब तक पद धारण करता रहेगा जब तक उसका उत्तराधिकारी अपने पद ग्रहण नहीं कर लेता है। को भरने के लिए निर्वाचन पदावधि की समापन इससे पहले ही पूर्ण कर दिया गया है। 2, उपराष्ट्रपति की मृत्यु, पदत्याग और पद से हटाए जाने अन्य कारण से हुई उसके पद में रिक्ति को भरने के लिए निर्वाचन रिक्त होने के पश्चात यथाशीघ्र किया जाएगा और रिक्ति को भरने के लिए निर्वाचित व्यक्ति अनुच्छेद 67 के बंधों के अधीन रहते हुए अपने पद ग्रहण की तारीख से 5 वर्ष की पूरी अवधि तक पद धारण करके हकदार होगा, पद धारण करने का हकदार होगा। 5 वर्ष की पूरी अवधि तक पद धारण करने का हकदार हो। 69, प्रत्येक उपराष्ट्रपति अपना पद ग्रहण करने से पहले राष्ट्रपति अथवा उसके द्वारा इस नियमित नियुक्ति किसी शासक के किसी व्यक्ति के समक्ष प्रत्येक उपराष्ट्रपति अपना पद ग्रहण करने से पहले राष्ट्रपति अथवा उसके द्वारा इस निम्नलिखित नियुक्ति किसी व्यक्ति के समक्ष निम्नलिखित प्रकोप में शपथ लेगा या प्रतिज्ञान करेगा और उस पर अपने हस्ताक्षर करेगा। अवधि, मैं अमुक को सत्य निष्ठा से प्रतिज्ञान करता हूँ कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा, कुआं तथा जिस पद को मैं ग्रहण करने जा रहा हूँ उसके कार्य उसके कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक निर्वहन करूंगा। आइए 70 पे। संसद ऐसे किसी आकस्मिक अक्षमता में जो इस अध्याय में उपबंधित नहीं है, राष्ट्रपति के कर्तव्यों के निर्वर्तन के लिए ऐसा उपबंध कर सकेगी जो वह ठीक समझे। 71। गया भाई, गया तो ना, सबसे चला गया यार। व्हाट इज दिस? साला चला गया यार। Poor wireless connection, your video has been paused. Due to poor wireless connection, your video has been paused. Consider moving to find a better signal or you can end broadcast. What is this, yeah? Every time this happens, I don't understand why is this like this. Why it has gone? I don't know why it is gone. What is gone?